because you can't just do that. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be the fun police here. It's a great song. Welcome back to MTR. Alven Ahez. Fulenn. I am interested and intrigued. I've been saying at the beginning of all my Eurovision ones this year, welcome if it's your first time here, because these videos are drawing in people who have not been here before. I am not a Eurovision channel, and this is a reactionalysis. That means I try and analyze from a first listening. I love Eurovision, by the way. I mean, I don't do this for clicks, really, just for my Eurovision. Yeah, I do it for clicks too. I mean, I don't want to lie. Wow. It's creepy. And I'm so glad I've got the English lyrics up. It's really creepy in a good way. There's so much going on musically here. There's some great wordplay as well going on in terms of saying singing in unison and then they sing in unison. There's just so much to analyze, and I'm going to be as quick as I can after this. So please don't leave. I'm intrigued by the different tone colors, so the timbres of both the vocals and also obviously the different instrumentation. The staging is wild, and that is going to go off. This is that kind of song which I don't think I want to listen to in the car, but absolutely want to listen to watching the visuals, because it is so interesting. Into the second verse. Part, which they were doing anyway. Let's build harmonic. Excellent. Excellent. They could have just gone straight in, which I expected, and they completely went the other way, which is great. Is that a ukulele? I mean, I don't know what's going on. Okay, I expected to stop that more. I do not want this to be a substitute for listening to the song in any respect. I mean, I've spoke over it, really. That was really interesting. Couple of things. Let's just see this from an analytical perspective. Microtones in the first, right at the beginning in the introduction. So microtones meaning hitting notes in between semitones, which is a very cultural kind of thing to do. Also, synonymous, I guess, with like mythological or tribal, and that's what's being portrayed here, because starting off, of course, with this melody from the female vocalist, contrasting no harmonic instruments with just these tribal kind of drums underneath. And then, of course, introducing the guitar as a kind of response to what we just heard vocally. It's just an imitation, really. And then that. Complete contrast. And that's there for interest purposes, of course, like to pitch and tone color contrasts. And what's that drone underneath? I mean, it sounds like a didgeridoo, but like, what is it? You know what I'm talking about, right? Like, it's just this, which is very traditional Australian, which is a didgeridoo or yidaki. Why do you use it here? That's what I want to know, because that worries me that little bit. Singing here in unison. I mean, it's even in the lyrics. And then they go to this a cappella part, and then straight back into this kind of trance beat. But I'm still wondering about that didgeridoo sound, because why is that being used? And look, yeah, it can be. I don't want to look into this too much. I don't want to accuse this of appropriation, but it's worrying me that little bit, especially when you have the connotations of tribal behind it. I mean, there's a lot left to analyze, but I'm now a bit gobsmacked by that didgeridoo sound effect. Is it? Because in my opinion, musically, yes, it's beautifully contrasting having this drone throughout with those higher pitches and, of course, those other rhythms. But in my eyes, that is unambiguously a didgeridoo sound effect. So far be it of me to comment too much on this. But if you're watching this and you're Australian, and especially if you're Indigenous Australian from Arnhem Land, where, of course, the yidaki, or as was called by the European invaders, didgeridoo, was used for specific purposes. And if you have seen a didgeridoo, it's been very much appropriated, and of course, in general, it's been used as a poster for an instrument from Indigenous Australians. Geographically, the didgeridoo wasn't even used that much in Australia. But of course, because it's very interesting and very interesting sounding, and uses a very interesting circular breathing technique to get that drone throughout, it's worldwide known. So correct me if I'm wrong, and if there are any, and I might check this out as well. I'm not sure if there are any Indigenous Australians watching this, but it would be great to hear from you if you are. What are the general opinions on this? Because you can't just do that. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be the fun police here. It's a great song. It sounds interesting. It's got a very tribal feel. But you can't just transport a traditional instrument from another country, use it in your song to signify tribal music with lyrics, she dances with the devil, so what? I dance with the devil, so what? And I don't think this is done with malice. I don't. It's not. And I don't think I'm looking into that too much. Any Australian listening to this will recognize that as a didgeridoo. And to me, that shows a lack of understanding of culture in general. Yes, it's electronic, but there is cultural significance here which is completely being ignored and has unfortunately completely trampled my analysis of this because it's an interesting song and will do very well. But this needs to be dealt with, and I really want to know in the comments down below what's going on, your opinions on this, and especially if you're Indigenous Australian, your thoughts. Because I don't want to speak for people, I want to understand. Oh, that turned into something that it wasn't meant to. Yeah. Okay, look. I'm just going to leave it there and wait to see what you guys say. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.